Hello there. It's March the 20th. It's the UN's International Day of Happiness, and somehow that seems a little bit less accessible than it should right now. It should be easy for us. Most of us have got family, friends, children, loved ones, partners who we can instantly think of and access that joy. And at the moment, that just seems a step away, in part because I'm talking to people who are trying to work from home, homeschool their children at home, and they're finding the joy from their children just a little bit harder to access than normal. I was thinking yesterday what I was going to say today about joy and happiness in the context of the world that we're living in and the isolation that some of you will be feeling at this point. And then I remembered something, and I thought maybe we could try this as a little experiment. I went on a panel a few years ago now, many years ago, to talk about serious issues, of course. And on that panel was a man called Labi Siffre. And I sat there and I looked at him, and Labi Siffre created an amazing song called So Strong back when I was a kid. And I'll be honest that back when I was a kid, I lived in Stockport and I faced gangs of school kids waiting for my sisters and myself to get off the bus to see if they could give us racist abuse. And being the only black family in Stockport, it felt like, I know we weren't, but it just felt like we were the only ones. And in terms of myself, understanding at a very early age that I was gay and looking around in the world and realizing that nobody felt that was right. And then I heard this song So Strong, which I knew he'd written about South Africa and apartheid and the struggle of South Africans, black South Africans against that horrible regime. And somehow I thought that he'd written the song for me, to embolden me, to strengthen me. And every time I heard it, it didn't just embolden me, it made me feel so happy that there was this man out there who had written a song for me. And then I got to sit on a panel next to him. And instead of doing what a normal person should do, which is to just talk about the business of the panel, the first thing I did when they opened the panel and they'd done the introductions was to turn to him in front of this audience of 100-odd people and tell him how grateful I was for him. Because when I was young and going through a lot of stuff, he'd written So Strong, and I told him I was so stupid I thought that you'd written the song for me. And he looked over at me and he put his hand on my arm and he said, "John, that's crazy. Of course I wrote the song for you." And my heart nearly exploded. I was incapable of doing my job on that day. So I thought, in the context of this time that feels a bit tough, and for many of us we're dealing with real hardship, what is it that brings you some happiness and joy? Is there a song? Is there a painting? Is there a family member, a partner? Whatever it is, share it. Share it here. Let other people know that you can find those little nuggets of happiness, even in the midst of all this craziness. There is something inside so strong.